Your time starts now.
Hi, no music. Okay, my name's Josh, and I'm a musician, and I've been involved in music tech for a long time. So, in 2013, I was asked to create a geolocated sound walk for Hanoi, which was part of a larger world project linking geolocated sound walks. So, based on the feedback from this, we decided to create our own software for creating geolocated sound maps. So we applied for Danish embassy funding, which we were successful with, and ran a successful crowdfunding campaign. So, I'm going to introduce a video which is one application of our technology. This is a virtual city tour. You'll identify Ding Kim Nam by its large grey temple-like porch. Cross the porch and you'll enter the courtyard. Enjoy this quiet place, cut off from the animated street. This old house is the communal house of Hang Bang Street. In earlier times, the house was... So, imagine each of the scenarios on this slide. Now imagine that each of these are projects that have come to us and want to use our technology. So we can solve each of the problems on this slide using our technology. So, I present Echoes, which is an easy way to combine geolocation and audio for everyone to experience. And so, our solution is, we have a web app, which is already online, and we already have content producers putting content on the platform. And this is the tool which will enable us to reach a global market. This is our Android app in the top right-hand corner, which is our current functioning prototype. So, we know that we need to curate content in order to develop an ecosystem. And we need to create a number of pilot projects which will demonstrate the technology and allow us to test use cases. So we're going to create a place for people to share and explore content. And through this content, we will develop traction. So, I talked about content. We're going to create a content producer ecosystem. So, we will encourage people to sign up to the platform and partner with existing content producers and partners. And we will create co-working tools and collaborative tools for people to create amazing sound walks together online. So I'm going to talk about one market, which is the tourism market. So last year, 850 million people travelled abroad with a smartphone in their pocket. 38% of leisure travellers and 57% of business travellers use their smartphones to look for local travel information. And so, one outdated solution, which is Lonely Planet Guides, they made 18 million last year in profit. So, to take Singapore as an example, 15 million people travelled here last year. So if 2% of those visitors took two $1 tours in Singapore, we would make a profit. So imagine what would happen if we had content all over the world. And to introduce our business model, as I mentioned, our primary market is tourism, so we will monetize this through in-app purchases and advertising. And we will provide a rich experience for companies by providing white label apps and charging for access to our API. And we'll hone our model using metrics. So we're already generating revenue. We're already working with projects in Hanoi. We are working with an ODA-funded public art project, which is due for dissemination later this year. We're working with a restaurant to produce a food tour in Hanoi. And we're creating a treasure hunt app in Hanoi as well. And we're in negotiation with 10 other projects globally. And we will use these projects to test our monetization strategies. So as our content expands, we will expand. And this is our team. Combined, we have experience of creating audio tours, working with audio, and managing high visibility projects. And so we're looking to raise some money to grow us over the next 18 months. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Let's hand it over to the judges.
So, let me think here. Tell me about engagement with the users. So, like, when you get someone to finally download the app and like use it, what does it look like? Like, how sticky is it? Like, what's their feedback when they interact with it? Like, what makes this better than, like, is it better definitively than other existing audio tours, for instance?
You mean existing audio tools in terms of geolocative content?
It doesn't have to be
Direct messages?
geolocated, but just in comparison to, like, for example, inside of a museum, I'm listening to an audio tour going through that. Like, how does the engagement on your stuff for inside of a city and all this stuff compare to those? Like, is it as effective? Do people like it as much? Are people more likely to repeat the experience? Like, just wondering, like, how sticky is it? Do you, like, users really, really want this?
We have no idea. There's no market data for this.
Are you guys not launched?
No, we're in pre-launch.
What is so pre-launch means you have people in beta or?
Yeah, we have a few users using the platform already, so we're getting feedback from content producers, but we have not put this in the marketplace yet.
Those feedback from content producers is just them playing around with the API?
Then playing around with our web app, and we've had a few people use it for individual tours. We created a tour in Hanoi to demo the concept last year, and we got good feedback from it.
How many people tried it?
In 2013, when we used it, about 40 people used it. And then last year we had about 50 people take the tours.
So were you trying to get as many people to try it as possible so you can get as much data? Or what was the purpose of the test after you created the tour?
At that point, we weren't really a startup, so it was just a hobby for us. We were just creating this geolocative audio guide, and we were supported by the Danish embassy. It's only in the last few months or so that we've really decided to pursue a kind of commercialization of the product.
And then, what's your plan in terms of acquiring users effectively?
So we will stimulate this content producer network by linking up with individual content producers who will put content onto the platform. And through those content producers, we will rely on them to market the content directly.
So
for example,
can you be specific? Who are the content producers you're going to start with that you think will be the most effective for spreading?
So we would really like to talk with a number of different content producers, different types of tours. So for example, people from individual tour guides in separate countries. So we're talking with a tour guide in Singapore to create an art tour in South Vietnam. And so this would be one individual creating a tour, and then up to somebody like the Singapore Tourism Board who would create an official tour for Singapore. So it's anybody from an individual user up to a corporation who could create content on our platform.
How big do you think this can get? Like, what's the billion-dollar version of this look like?
The billion-dollar version of audio tours. This is obviously a niche market.
I don't think so at all. The exciting version of this is like V1 of augmented reality, right? Like, everyone
Exactly.
looked at Google Glass and that thing totally tanked, right? But that's because it feels lame. But if I just put headphones on and you have an API for me to augment all geospatial locations, right? That can be done right now by any single company, and you will wait for distribution for it to be interested. And then whenever there's some device that's cool enough that people wear, then that could be the next version of that. And the question is, like, can you actually build an API that everyone will build content on top of and try to build the metadata that makes all places interested?
Yes.
So building on that, I think the key is to acquire the content producers. What is the key value to them?
The key value for them is that they can monetize their content through our platform. So an individual tour producer could, for example, if they're charging $100 for a tour, they charge $1 on our app, and any user can sign up to our app and download that content. And they can take that tour at a fraction of the cost, but they can take that tour at any time of day, whenever they want. They can go for 5 minutes, or they can go for 4 hours. They can revisit the content, and so they get value-added content. So it's a no-brainer for tour providers.
If that is the case, probably you want to provide a content provider with the marketing support to acquire users.
Yeah, we haven't really got into advertising for users. I mean, I think it would be good for content producers to market their own tours, as well as us providing a backbone support for advertising.
I'm just trying to put this in terms of like what a UX, like user experience would be. When let me ask you a question. When you go on like a trip to Ho Chi Minh City, or when you go to Bali and you go sightseeing, do you put on your earphones? I mean, as a tourist, like the auditory experience is very, very important, right? And to block it out and just rely on the other four or or other senses that you have will be somewhat of a deficit of an experience. Like, do you feel that would be an impediment for you to get market acceptance? Because for me, if I'm going there to understand the culture and have a good time, I don't put on my earphones. It's more of it blocks me from the experience of culture and the society there.
To give you an example, I think something that would block you more from doing this is AR, and this is getting massive traction at the moment. So I think this kind of platform, something which is audio-based, you can still experience what's around you. So it's a replacement for the existing audio tools. So you'd be sitting on a bus going around town listening
So
to
AR as an augmented reality?
Yeah.
So augmented reality for tourism is getting massive traction?
No, AR in general.
No, I'm asking for tourism specifically, right?
No idea.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.